How is it going, everyone? It's Caleb Lumet here, and today we are going to be talking about Marvel Rivals Season 1. I'm finally going to be reviewing it. I thought maybe I should have done this sooner, because we are literally just a few days from it ending. But at the same time, now that it is coming to an end and Season 2 is coming up, now we kind of know what's here, how everything performs, and how things will probably work out in the future. So maybe it's for the best that I saved it until towards the end of the season, but I don't know. Let me guys know. Should I review it sooner next time? Let me know in the comments down below. But we're going to talk about Season 1 here, and we're going to talk about all the stuff they've added, some of the tweaks that they've made, and I definitely will say, I think they are on the right track. Balancing definitely feels a lot better. The characters that were overpowered in the previous season, which was, I guess, technically Season 0, the characters that were in that one definitely, there were some balancing issues. Scarlet Witch was definitely a bit overpowered, and I feel like they've tweaked her enough to where now she feels fair, and I definitely feel like a lot of the characters just feel like they are way better balanced than what they previously were, and I hope that continues on in the future, that they keep everything pretty well balanced. There's always going to be issues, because whenever you add a new character, unexpected things are going to happen. There's going to be things that you don't expect to happen, things that pop up that you can't predict, and they're going to have to make adjustments based on that, but for now, I do think that they are on the right track. And the only thing I would really complain about is just one ability that I think needs actually a buff for one of the new characters. And let's go ahead and talk about the new characters, and we'll talk about that buff as well. So, the new characters that they added in this season, they added the Fantastic Four. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about the Fantastic Four, because I'm honestly not a huge Fantastic Four fan, but I will say, they're actually pretty fun to play as. You have the four members, you have the Human Torch, you have the Thing, you have Invisible Woman, and you have Stretch Armstrong, Mr. Fantastic. So you have all of those characters, and you're able to play as them, and they actually all play fairly well. I do like the way that they play. When they first got added, they definitely had to, I think they had to make some tweaks because they didn't feel quite right, or maybe it was just me getting used to them, I don't know. But once I got used to them, and everything kind of like got into the later half of the season, I feel like they really started to settle in pretty well with the rest of the cast of characters in this game. So I like the character additions. I think they did a good job with them. My favorite probably is Invisible Woman. I do play a lot of healer, so anytime I get to use Invisible Woman, you know, I feel like that's kind of like where I do best in this game usually, is being a healer. But I do like her. I think they did a good job with her. However, she's the one character that I think they need to actually buff her ability. Her ult is really short. Her ultimate is basically she puts like this shield around everyone and turns everyone who's inside the shield invisible, and it will also like help heal your team, and it will slow down the enemies and stuff like that. However, it does not last very long, and I feel like that ability should last just as long as Luna Snow's ability. So that would probably be the one thing that I would critique and I would fix in the next season. Who knows if they'll actually do that or not, but it is something that I think should be fixed, because Luna Snow's ability, it lasts a pretty long time. If you're going to have that one last a pretty long time, I feel like Invisible Woman should last about the same amount of time. So that'd be like the one complaint I have. But overall, I still feel like these characters are pretty well balanced for the most part, and I definitely like playing as them or fighting against them. They're actually fun to fight as well. Especially because, like, especially when you're fighting like the Human Torch, you have to find a new way to defeat him. If you're like a melee character and he's a flying character, you kind of have to be inventive with how you go about fighting him, so that's kind of an interesting one as well. But I do really like the additions. I think that they're cool. I still want more characters. They're still adding more characters, but I don't know if any of the characters I want will ever be added, but we'll see. Maybe I'll talk about that in a later video. They did add 2 new maps as well, and they are both vampire themed, because this whole season was basically around vampires and Dracula and stuff. I was really hoping that they would add Blade into the season as a playable character. Unfortunately, he is not a playable character yet. I hope they add him as a playable character soon, because that would be awesome. You get to see him. They have a model made for him, but you cannot play as him yet. So I do hope that they add Blade soon. You can see him actually in one of the maps when you're like escorting Ratatasker. You can see him, and it makes you wish that you could play as him. So maybe one day. But I do like the 2 new maps. They're pretty fun. One is an escort mission where you're escorting, I don't remember what the robot's name is. I want to call it Herbie, but Herbie, I don't know if I'm getting it mistaken with like the car that talks from Disney. I don't know. But there's like a little robot that you have to escort to a different building, and that's one of the new maps that you have. And the other map is you escorting Ratatasker, and you're escorting him through the vampire-infested area. So that's what you're doing. Those are the 2 new areas. I say vampire-infested area. It's not like there's actually vampires there. It's vampire-themed. There you go. But I do enjoy the new maps. I think they look pretty good as well. They did a good job with the design of them. They're definitely darker themed, but that's not a bad thing. I think that this game had a lot of bright themed maps beforehand. So finally getting some darker maps is kind of nice, and it adds just something to be a little bit different with the rotation of the maps. So I do like the maps that they've added. Now, something I will say is that I do not really play ranked mode, so if there's some sort of change to ranked mode, I will not know about it because I don't touch ranked mode. That's not my thing. I prefer relaxing with quick match. That's what I like. That's what I like to play. People are usually calm there, not always, but still, I still like to play casual mode. I still like to play quick play. That's just what I prefer. So if there are any sort of changes to ranked play, I'm the wrong person to talk to you guys about it because I have no idea. I stick with what I'm okay with. So, in terms of ranked, don't know nothing about it, but quick play still has one thing that I wish they would fix, and that is the fact that you can still not lock a position down. I do not like the fact that there is no roll locks. I complained about it last season. I'm going to complain about it this season. And I highly doubt they're going to add roll locks, if I'm being completely honest. It doesn't seem like something that they want to do because they think it's going to stifle creativity. However, I think that they are actually hurting their game more in the long run by not having roll locks. Because one of the most annoying things that can happen in this game is when you pick damage first before anyone else in the lobby, and then every other person picks damage as well, and you are stuck in a lobby where either you have one of two choices. You either swap to healing, or you lose the match because nobody else is going to swap to healing. I do not like that. That definitely should be fixed in the future. I think roll locks are frankly just common sense. I think it should be fixed, and hopefully one day it happens. At least, like, if I hear that they do it in ranked, I will literally start playing ranked instead, just so I don't have to deal with, people just not picking healer or tank ever. Sometimes I will pick healing and tank. I don't mind doing it. I actually like being a healer. I actually like being a tank. But there's sometimes where, you know what? I want to play damage. And if I pick damage first, and then everyone picks damage around me, I kind of get forced into a position where I feel like I have to play healer or tank in order for us to even be able to have a chance. And again, roll locks would completely fix that issue. So hopefully one day we get that. But I'm not going to bet on it. However, other than that, that's still my only complaint. You'll probably hear about it next season too. If I review the next season, you'll probably hear me complain about it then too, because I doubt they're going to do anything about it. But still, I'd like to see it fixed in the future. They have added a lot more skins, I will say. The skins look pretty good. I do like the additions of a lot of new skins. They made a orange version of Venom, which I really like. He looks like a big old Fanta running around, big old Fanta monster, so I do like that. I think that he looks pretty cool, and I like that they added a new pack along with that orange Venom. It basically was like some sort of pack that was like $2.99 or something like that, and if you got it, you got like a bunch of quests that you could do, and it would basically be like, oh, play 3 matches, and you unlock a new item. And it was basically just like that. And you could unlock coins, you could unlock a new banner and stuff like that. And I thought it was actually a really cool idea, and I hope that they do more of that in the future because it's really cheap and it's just a really fun thing to do. It just adds, more challenges for you to do, even though you already have quite a bit of challenges, for the actual season pass itself. It still adds just more challenges for you to do and more stuff for you to unlock, and that's always a good thing, I think. So I do like that stuff. I like that they had a bunch of different stuff in the actual pack, and they even had a new item that I had not seen before. They had like a redemption token where you could go redeem an outfit. So that was kind of cool because you could get a token and then you could go pick any outfit in the store and unlock it. So that was pretty cool too. So I did like that. So there's definitely some good things coming out. There's definitely some good things that they've added, but hopefully, again, my only complaint is really the roll locks, and they need to buff Invisible Woman. So hopefully that stuff happens next time. We'll see. But thank you guys for watching. I still think Marvel Rivals is a fun game after Season 1. I still really enjoyed it. I'll talk about Season 2, hopefully. Hopefully I'll talk about it a little bit earlier, maybe. I don't know. I feel like part of me feels like I need to wait until they release all the content, at least all of the characters and all of the maps and everything, before I do a review for Season 2. So, I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. I'll talk to you next time, though. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.